Hi, boys and girls. It's me, Mrs. Brandt, and I'm excited to continue reading our book Otter. I hope everybody has been enjoying it. So today the read is for Monday, March 10th, and it is pages 95 through 113. Tool use. When otters put rocks to work, humans call it tool use and applaud the ingenuity. Like chimps and corvids, octopuses and elephants, otters have been elevated, moved up a rung on the evolutionary ladder. Though every day a new group seems to join the list of species that were smarter than folks thought. What to fear? Otter pups spend more time with their moms than some marine mammals. Still, they're born with teeth and ready to swim as soon as they shed their jacket like their life jacket baby fur. They grow much faster than human children do. Already, Ondine had tried to share the most important lesson she could with her pup: what to fear. Not that she was certain Otter was listening. It was never too early to learn to stay alive. And so she reminded Otter, whenever she could, to stay away from sharks. Stay away from humans. Stay away from all that you don't understand. It felt wrong teaching the little one who made her cherish life to actually be afraid of it. But that was how things had to be, especially when a pup as heedless and wild-hearted as Otter. Day 32. One morning, Ondine awakened to unsettled air. The world smelled strange and storm-ready. She secured Otter extra tightly to a favorite strand of kelp. A quick dive for some sea urchins would help Ondine stave off hunger for a bit. After the storm, shifting sands might unearth new meals. Ondine took one last Ondine took one last glance at her pup, and Otter squealed with outrage at the abandonment, as she always did, while Ondine tried to shake off her feeling of unease. It was the dream that she had last night, perhaps, or the coming storm that had her on edge. That's all it was. Otter dreams. Humans envy the way otters sleep on the water, paws linked, untroubled as lily pads. But otters don't just doze like other mammals, they dream. Flying dreams where they ride the thermals like hawks, and shivery nightmares where all their fur has vanished, and fretful dreams where they can't crack open a muscle, frantic as a student who's forgotten their locker combination. The newborn. There was a pup in Ondine's dream, newborn, needy and squeaking, though it wasn't Otter. Otter was there, though, full grown, in fact, and while she wasn't a mother or a sister or an aunt, she was somehow important to the little pup. Otter kept deep diving to escape the pup's demands. Its helplessness frightened her, and when she couldn't hold her breath a second longer, she would rocket to the surface, only to find the pup still there, still asking for help. Dozens of times, Otter dove. Dozens of times, she surfaced, and dozens of times, the pup was waiting. I can't do it, Otter kept saying. I don't know how to teach her. And through it all, Ondine could only watch. Just a dream. A dream. It was just a dream, and Ondine told herself as she prepared to dive. The wind. Her mother was gone, searching for food, and once more, Otter was forced to wait, fidgety and annoyed. The wind was not itself today. She didn't like the way it kept bullying the water. It was awful each time her mother left her alone, and it was if you had asked Otter or any otter pup, life should be nothing but warmth and milk, cuddling and play on demand, 24 hours a day. Otter reminded herself that her mother always returned, smelling of baffling underwater world and ready again to wrap her pup in paws instead of kelp. Different. Otters used to otters are used to constant movement. The tides, egged on by the moon, never stop after all. But this day was different. The waves grew wild, flinging Otter this way and that, refusing to relent, while she coughed and gasped. It was almost as the ocean was angry at her. But how could that be? Rain. Rain came hard and lightning clawed the sky. Otter cried out, but her sounds were lost in the water crashing and the whitecaps boiling. Where is she? Where's she gone? And what if she is gone forever? Airborne. Pushed and pulled, the green living harness meant to keep Otter safe, let loose. No one heard her scream. And when the ocean finally discarded her, Otter was no longer afloat on the watery cushion that swayed and rocked. She landed somewhere cold and hard, and everything had stopped. Waiting. Otter shivered, she choked and was crying, and as she listened for her mother's return, waiting for the clasp of her paws and the scent of safety. The rain was just a trickle now. But where was the ocean? What was this rough, unmoving place? Too close. Harsh sounds came soon. Nothing like bird calls, though. They weren't gulls or terns or pelicans. New scents approached, too. Not part of the water world that she knew, and much, much too close. Somewhere new. More movement, bounding without waves, more sounds that she'd never heard before. And she was somehow or somewhere new. The air had changed. It was cool and dry, not damp with the ocean's breath. A soft letting go happened, landing her on coarse fur, nothing like her mother's. Other animals came close, leaning in. She tried to struggle, but couldn't move. And she tried to squeal, but no one listened. Where is she? After a while, Otter gave up trying to fight. Without the circling waves or her mother's soothing touch, all Otter could think of was, where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Until finally, exhausted, she fell into a dreamless sleep. Puzzle. The next day, Otter felt stronger. They wouldn't leave her alone, the animals, endlessly feeding and grooming and measuring and testing as if she were a puzzle that they needed to solve. They kept her in a box filled with a tiny piece of ocean. It was long enough for a little swim, wide enough for a twist or a spin, and had a spot above the water for resting. At first, Otter feared their intrusions. But when the animals returned to give her warm food through a piece of a rubber with a hole, even though it was never as satisfying as her mother's milk, Otter was grateful for it. And now that concludes our reading for today. So tune in tomorrow if you'd like to read with us. Thanks for joining us.